Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday, March the 16th, 2021. It is currently 12:16 p.m. Central Time. You can probably tell from the sound of this live broadcast that I am not at the church. The church is being cleaned today, so I'm waiting for that to be over. And then I may go back to the church, but I'm sitting here in my study. And I just saw something and I thought, you know what, I'll just grab the iPad, go live really quick and just share this with everyone and get your thoughts and get your opinions. You can tell me whether you agree or disagree with this, but I just saw this. So let me start by asking a question. How do pastors become liars? What leads pastors to not saying the things they should say or not saying things in an honest way? What can lead a pastor to basically becoming a liar? Not really speaking the truth, not really being honest with people. What do you think could lead a pastor to do that? Some moral defect inside of him, his depravity, or could it be that there's something in the way the church is structured that literally leads a pastor, almost demands a pastor to not be honest, to not do what actually needs to be done? What do you think? Let me read this to you and you can tell me whether you agree or disagree. I have to open this up really quick. Let me find find where I saved the file. I think it's right here. Here it is. This is what it says. Honesty is a liability for pastors who rely on agreeable staff and congregants for their salary, benefits, parsonage, and future employment opportunities. This is how your spiritual leaders become liars. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that carefully. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me read it to you one more time. Honesty is a liability for pastors who rely on agreeable staff and congregants for their salary, benefits, parsonage, and future employment opportunities. This is how your spiritual leaders become liars. What do you think about that? Now, as someone who I've been bivocational pretty much my entire ministry. When I was finally able to retire, the only reason I was able to retire from my jobs is because of retirement and my disability from the VA. That's the only way I would still be basically a pastor at my church, or I'd have to have another job. So I've never completely relied on my church for a salary and for future employment opportunities. So I was always free. In fact, for many years, the church gave me nothing. I mean, other than maybe money for gasoline, they didn't. I mean, I didn't take a dime. So I was very free. I had a freedom that I could say whatever I needed to say. And if it made people mad, it made people mad because I wasn't dependent upon them. There was a freedom. I could be bolder. And that now, to be fair, I do have to rely on my church because without them making my house payment, I would probably have to go out and get another job. We could probably make it with my retirement and disability, but it would be tight. So that the church, by paying my house payment, gives me the ability to do podcasts and minister without having to have a job. So in some ways, I am reliant on them. I think our church has reached a point now where that they know me, I know them, and I can say things that I need to say. I hope that I'm not afraid. I hope whenever I get ready to speak, I don't sit there and try to calculate, well, this could offend them and this could offend them, and I wonder if it would drive them off. I hope I don't do that, but I'm a sinner just like anyone else. And I mean, you go to work. You know, there's times at work you can't say what you want to say. You can't do what you want to do because you know if you offend your boss, or you can end up hurting your career advancement, future employment opportunities, or lose your job. Everyone's been in that situation. I was in the military. I know there was times I couldn't say. Sometimes sometimes I was clearly instructed not to say what the reality was. I was told not to do that because, well, that could hurt us in this inspection, or that could do this. I mean, I could get into all kinds of stories there, which put me in lots of difficult situations. And in many cases, the boss would just send me home because they were afraid that I was not going to follow the game plan. But I've seen it plenty of times. You say what you need to say to please people, to please that boss, so that you can advance. You can get that promotion opportunity. But what should we do? How should we work that? How should we structure that? Some denominations give it where, the people don't really pick the pastor. A pastor is sent there. The pastor is there for a certain amount of time, and then the pastor moves. Is that a good solution? I don't know. But I think a lot of times pastors look, I've stated it before. I don't know how a pastor who realizes if I tick off that person and tick off that person, I cause a church split, or that person leaves, that church is not going to be able to support me, and I have a family to support. I have, insurance and this and this and this. So even that they may tell themselves that they're still speaking the truth, I just have I just believe that what can happen is not that you don't speak the truth, you just speak it in a way that's so vague that nobody there is going to get offended. No one there is going to you're going to be really blunt and bold about things outside of the church, the things your people agree with. But when you have to come and deal with the people face to face about something that they're doing, you're going to try to do it in a vague way, hoping they get the point. You're not just going to come out and say it. Have we created that situation? How do we resolve that situation? Just give me your thoughts. Let me read it to you one more time. Honesty is a liability for pastors who rely on agreeable staff and congregants for their salary, benefits, parsonage, and future employment opportunities. This is how your spiritual leaders become liars. I just thought I had the opportunity, so I thought I would share it with you. Now it's your opportunity to share your thoughts with me. You can email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. That's newsif@yahoo.com. And I'll be more than happy to read your comments and get your thoughts. Yes. So you can let me know. My dog here, I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's sleeping. He doesn't, my dog is not too interested in this subject. My dog does not, I don't understand why my dog is not, this is riveting stuff. Inquiring minds want to know. But I think it is important stuff. I think it is important for every congregation to be able to look at their pastor and say, look, we want you to be honest and truthful and blunt and bold with us, even if we don't like it. But you don't get that. I mean, as soon as you don't do what people want, as soon as you don't run the church the way they want, as soon as you don't do what they want, they will leave. I've seen it so many times. People will leave, and they leave you sometimes in the most, they don't care. They don't care what happens to the church. They don't care what happens to the people. People leave. Now, I think people should be as free to leave as possible. I don't like trying to manipulate and find some way to say, no, you can't leave. But that constant knowing that people will leave they want you to preach a certain way. Don't preach this. Don't do this. Do this. Don't do that. You need to be doing. Everyone's got their 900 ideas on how the church should operate. And rarely do they say, you know what, pastor, you're the pastor. And, unless you do something horribly wrong, we are going to stay committed, even if we don't always agree. And I've got people in my church who don't always agree with me, but they give me, I feel like they give me the freedom to say what I need to say. And I appreciate that. But a lot of pastors, you're sitting there going, man, I can't lose any more people. I can't lose that family. I can't lose, if I lose that family, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I can't imagine trying to live that way. And because it only hurts the church. Now, what you ultimately do, you just try to please the people, you give them what they want, and you don't fight. You say that's what you want, that's what you do. You give them the kind of sermons they want, the kind of preaching they want, the kind of activities they want. And ultimately, everyone just plays a big game where the pastor's there really to serve the people, but yet claiming he's there serving God. Yeah, I think there's lots of issues there, but I thought I would just throw it out there. You can give me your thoughts. Thanks for listening to this kind of impromptu live broadcast coming to you from my study here in Abilene, Texas. Everyone have a great day. Look forward to hearing your thoughts. God bless.